Oh, I'm excited.
I can't stand that I'm standing here in this quarry. I don't have a clue. And this is driving me crazy.
Right now, for me, the mystery is the fun.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well,
this is like,
you're perfect for this hobby. I mean, you've got it all. You've got all you have all the fundamentals that made me successful. You've got them. I've talked to you long enough to know you've got it. You could be very successful in doing this and enjoy it. And plus, it can go in. You can do this into your 90s, especially with the micromounts. Doing the small stuff. You can do this until, if you go to the Micromount Symposium in D.C. and Alexandria, they go all the way into the 90s there. They keep doing it because you're not handling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can still study.
And the space confinements are very small. This is how a box of micromounts looks.
Yes. Okay.
And how many hundreds of specimens? But it takes up very little space, and each one is a universe of fascinating things. Just fabulous, fabulous stuff. So this is a wonderful thing to add into any. We try to get everybody that is in minerals to do both things, actually. Now, I had a limit. I said, I'll collect some big stuff until my shelf is full, and then that's it. Okay? When the shelf is full, that's it. Because
okay.
I don't have a place. After that's got to go outdoors. I mean, what are you going to do? It's been a way of controlling the mass, because if you collect big, very quickly your house is completely overrun in a hurry.
That would be the case. And display, even before I even thought about displaying for myself, I've been looking at the museums. University of Richmond has a mineral museum, and of course the one out at JMU, and just trying to get a sense. And I went to the big one up in Toronto a few months ago, which is insane.
Yeah.
And that started to give me a few ideas. It's like, before you do this and put any thought or money into it, let's figure out what are the best ways to do it.
Well, yeah, because the condo decided for me.
Oh, yeah.
And you have a space like this, and you have one shelf and a bookcase. That's it for your collection, folks. There was no question where I was going to go.
Right.
But when I moved here, I had a bit more space. Okay, I've got more space, but not unlimited space. And the buckets of rock come in. You got to know how to process them, how to break them down, how to get rid of the trash, what to do with it, and get the collection down to the parts you really want to keep and what size you want to work at.
Right.
So that it doesn't overwhelm your capabilities. Because, especially if you're with a club, you're constantly going to quarries and places and bringing home buckets full of stuff.
Well, and that's one thing I was kind of wondering. Like, I'm just literally over in the corner seeing that you have any number of other kinds of shells.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, seeing the fossils. It's just given me the idea that clearly you're interested in more than just Moorfield Mine.
I was optimistic when I started out. I imagined that when I retired, I could do both minerals and fossils, and I could learn fossils. Boy, was that a joke.
Yeah.
Fossils are almost a specialty. You can do it as a sideline, but if you're going to do fossils, that's another all-consuming thing. And so I've allowed them to happen, but I haven't. Obviously, when I retired, I realized I wasn't going to be able to do. And there are microfossils that are fabulous. And they go in a tiny space.
Okay, that I haven't even thought about.
And they're fabulous. And you can get tons of them. And they're much more interesting sometimes than this big, clunky stuff. So, there's a whole microfossil thing. It's great.
That's amazing.
And talk about not knowing what you're doing. My husband, of course, goes with me. He's the one that finds the stuff like this. And the 1 pound garnet, he found that.
You told me
says,
about
is this
that.
something, he says, holding up this crystal? I said, yes, honey, that's something.
That's something insane. May I touch?
Yeah, they're glued to the board.
Oh, it's glued. Okay.
Yeah, you have to keep the whole thing up. Yeah, those are examples of Virginia minerals.
Topaz, right there.
Yeah.
And where did you find that particular topaz?
On the back, I think. Is it on the back? No, those were inside. Yeah, that one is.
Okay, can you turn that around so I can just see how you did that? So you mounted it to rock.
That's quartz.
Okay.
These are Knuckles Farm quartz.
So you got it mounted, and then you just have a label showing where it was presented, which is kind of cool.
Now, some of these appear to have no label, but they have numbers that go to a catalog. And even the stuff in here that some of them appear to have no label, they have numbers on them.
Yeah.
And the numbers connect to a catalog. What's that thing? This is my very first catalog. Oh, here they are. This was my very first catalog.
Vivianite?
Long, long ago, in these wonderful little books, because I had no idea what I was getting.
Is that Vivianite there?
That is Vivian. No, that's Vivianite right there.
That's
That's
it
from
right
the
there.
Virginia find. That's the one at MCV.
That is so cool.
This is iron mineral. That's an iron mineral.
Okay.
And these were my first catalog books.
Look!
Aren't they sweet? And my first little trip, there you go, number 1. This was 1981. And so when I'd find something, I would give it a number. And write down where I found it, the location, and what it was, if I could find out what it was. So I had a record of everything from the very beginning of what I was doing, these little tiny books. So stuff like this, I know where they came from because on them there is a number that correlates to this set of books.
Oh, hold on a second.